Do you know how many homeschool planner reviews I have watched over the years? An insane amount. Paper planners, digital planners, phone apps, websites. Mama, I am done. Today I wanted to show you what I used last year that worked. This is not a sponsored post, I just genuinely wanted to help you out. Help you out, girlfriend, I got your back. So I used Trello. Originally I had this all planned out that I was gonna show you how to create this Trello board from scratch, but that sounded like a really boring video. So instead what I've done is I've created this template that you can upload onto your own personal Trello account and use as you want. The first thing you're gonna see when you open up the Trello board is your completed week, the week, and then your students, and then a couple of other extras, which we'll go over in a little bit. The main component of this that is so useful and helpful is the week. Our week, for what I envision for us to complete, is having a history lesson, a science lesson, an art lesson, and then we have various checkpoints. So if we open up here in my student 1, I have a to-do list of things that I would like her to do. And as soon as she has completed them for that Monday, I check them off. And we get a progress bar that shows me how much further they have to go before they finish everything up. In addition to this, I can also add a description of lesson plans that they have done. So for math, we talked about multiplication. Maybe we talked about our 9 times. And I go through and I write down anything in addition that I want to keep track of. I can also add an attachment here where I can put in a picture. So here's a picture that my daughter took a day or two ago of some blocks that she put together that she was very proud of. And now I can add that for the day. For Monday, she did this project, and now I have it saved. And then I can see and keep track in real time what we really do need to take care of for that week. We didn't do math 3 days this week. We really should tackle it by Friday. After everything has been done for my student, I will move it over to the completed week. And it just sits under here under Monday. And we'll put it over there. And as my week continues, I move things. Whoops, that goes over there. That stays on Tuesday. As our week continues, I slowly move the stuff that we've done during the week over to our completed week. So if we've done an art lesson, let's say we did our art lesson on Wednesday, I'll put it under my Wednesday cover board. And that tells me, okay, we did art this week. We did a history lesson and we did it on Thursday. Now this is the important part about Trello, is that I don't necessarily want to keep all of my completed weeks on here. After they are completed, they're done. I want to keep this list for my own personal records, right? So I create a second Trello board and I move this completed week, move list to completed weeks. And that completed list shifts to an entirely different board. And then at the end of the month or even at the end of the year, I can take all of these completed weeks, all of that work that we have done, and print it off. And then I have a nice stacked diary of everything that we have done for weeks on end. That includes pictures, that includes books that we've read, that includes chore lists that we have completed, any kind of field trips or memories. It's all in my completed board. And I love how easy it is to move my tasks from one place to the next. Now let's look at our students here. So I've got student 1, student 2. You can recreate lists, so you can copy this list. And let's say we're gonna do student 3. So if you have multiple students, you can absolutely add more kids on here, really easy. I'm gonna go ahead and archive that list. For my student 1, I've got math, English, service hours, and personal reading list. For my math here, this is where you could add a detailed description of what curriculum you are using for your own personal notes. You can talk about things and supply lists that you need, whatever you need. I've also got lessons all the way up to, let's see, how many do I have up here? I have up to 150. Certainly don't need to use all of those. What I love about this though is that when I'm doing my checklist, I can literally see a progress bar of how much further I have to go before we are finished. There's also a thing here where if you click on it, you can hide checked items. So as it goes, it will hide it for you. So you don't have like a huge long list that you have to scroll down. And again, you can have an attachment here where you can put the cover of whatever math program you use. Like I use Right Start here, so I could download and upload a picture of Right Start math curriculum on here. Just, just for fun, just to make it pretty, whatever you want. So I have English set up as units. You certainly do not have to add it this way. You can change a checklist and just create another one. For instance, let's say we want to do just instead of lessons, let's say we're going to do units. And I can add that checklist here down at the bottom, and I can start doing lesson 1, add lesson 2. You get the idea. We collect service hours in our homeschool because we try to qualify for the Presidential Volunteer Service Award here in the great US of A. I have here added as an attachment the number of hours that are required in order to earn certain medals or medallions or what have you, and a personal reading list. So this is actually the list of books that my 7th grader is currently reading. Now, if you have other things that you would like to keep track of for your student, you can add a card and say, for instance, they are currently taking a chemistry class. You could say, okay, here we go. We've got a chemistry class here, and I want to keep track of how often they are attending their class. How often are we actually going? And then I can make a checklist. I can make date. I can do a date of when we're starting and when we are finishing. Let's say we're going to start on the 18th and we're going to finish on the 3rd of September. I don't know. So those are the very basic nuts and bolts of this Trello board. Let me show you some of the funner stuff. So here I have a book list. These are things that I want to keep track of throughout the year. Whenever I'm watching a YouTube video or whatever, I'm like, oh, that would be an awesome book to read. Let me add it to my Trello board so I don't forget. For instance, let's say you want to read Family Under the Bridge and you want to make sure you remember to do that as a read aloud. I save the image under Downloads, Family Under the Bridge. I come back here to my read alouds. I'm going to add a card and I'm going to just say Family Under the Bridge. Okay, add card. I'm going to go back, I'm going to edit it. I'm going to change the cover here. I'm going to upload a cover image, Family Under the Bridge, open. This is just to make it aesthetically pleasing. And I click save. And now I've got a picture of the Family Under the Bridge, and I'm going to stick it under read alouds here. Whoop, nope, read alouds. Nope, come on. Come on. There you go. And now I remember, oh yeah, I love that book. I really would like to read that out loud. I can now drag it over here and say, you know what? We're going to start reading this, and I'm going to put it right here under art. And this is just going to sit under here, and when we've finished it, I will move it over to my completed week. So I know when I print out my completed weeks template that we read Family Under the Bridge, and we really enjoyed it. In fact, you could click on this card and you could write, we really enjoyed this book. 5 stars. And save. And now I've got a little description about what we thought of this book. In addition to this bookshelf, I've also got a want tos. This is like field trip ideas that I have. This is hiking that I want to do. This is just like little extra things that I'm like, I would really like to do this. This is where your Pinterest board comes in super handy. I know we all have Pinterest boards where we're like, man, I really wish I could do this for our homeschool. And then you forget about it because it's on your Pinterest board and not in your planner. Not any longer. You can literally copy and paste pictures that you have on your Pinterest board. You can click links and save them onto here. And then when you are ready and you're like, this is the week I'm going to do it, you drag it over to your week and then you'll remember to do it during that week. It's right there. For instance, let's say I would really love to go visit a hike that's really close to my house. We're going to call it the Hemlock Bluffs. It just so happens that we went on a hike the other day, and I took a picture of my 8-year-old who was practicing for her upcoming backpacking trip. I could say, you know what, I'd really like to do this hike over here. I'm going to move it, and then when we do complete it, I can say, okay, we did this hike on Monday, and not only that, I took a picture, and I can upload my picture and say, Here's a picture of us that we did this great adventure. And now when I print off my planner, I'll have that picture saved in there already. This is the basics of our template that you can download and use. Let me show you what my planner looks like as of right now to give you some ideas of how you can customize it a little bit more. So here's my current homeschool planner on my Trello board. I've got Caroline, Abby, Catherine, and Juliet. Those are my 4 kids that I am currently homeschooling today, as well as all of their work that we're going to be keeping track of. I've got my bookshelf. I haven't filled it out. I've got my want tos. I'm wanting to go there. I do have my history, so we're doing Story of the World, and I have put out chapters 1, 2, 3, and listed out every single one that we're going to be doing this year. And as we are moving along during our week, I'm going to pick up and literally drag it over to our week. So the one thing that you'll notice that is different on this board than on the template that I am offering is that I've moved my completed week and my regular week down at the very back. And the reason for this is that I have set up automations. Now, automations are special rules that you can set up on Trello that will do special things for you. So let me show you how my automations currently work. So every Monday, my week list and my completed list are copied. So it's taken these 2 weeks and put them at the very front. Not only that, it has dated them for me. It's August 18th today. So because I ran my rules earlier, it's a Wednesday, this is kind of off. Not that you guys care. And then I can literally keep track of when I print it out, it'll show me the date that we did it, as opposed to this was just on a Wednesday. There isn't a way for me to set up these rules and automations in the template. They just don't carry over. So if you are interested in these rules and automations, I've created a Google Doc down in the description box below that you can download, and it'll give you step-by-step on how to create these automation rules yourself. I have a video in the description box down below that you can watch. It's not going to show up on the regular feed. It's an unlisted video. It's purely just set up so you guys can put your own rules up. I think one of my favorite parts about Trello is that I can use it on my phone. I am not sitting at a computer very often, but I do always have my phone around with me. I try not to, but I do. I can literally just pull up Trello on my phone and move things around. I can click on my student 1 and I can say, you know what? She didn't do math, but she did do science and her personal reading, and it's all marked off on my phone now. I can say, you know what, we've completed on Monday, so I'm gonna move it up here. And now it's all set and saved onto my Trello board. I don't have to log onto the computer, it's just right here. When we are out and about and I see something really cool while we're driving by, I can snap a picture and say, I want to go here. I want to go to there. And it's on my phone and I can find it really easily. And when we are out and we are hiking, or when we are doing a field trip, or we are experiencing something, the pictures that I take on my phone are so easy to upload and record what we did that day. The fact that I can journal into my planner and write as much or as little as I want wherever I am is so relieving. The thing is, because I have multiple kids, planning out a schedule for our day is rather difficult. So if that is something you are navigating, I definitely watch this next to see how we have planned out our day, and it's probably using something that you already have lying around the house.